4 long weeks and a month, I managed to listen to the doctors that forced me to admit all the possible things. Things like I purge, which I didn't. I just wished I would gain weight so I could be free and get off the hospital. I wanted to gain weight. I hate how skinny I was. I always. And I just tried to do everything they said, be as good as possible. It felt like I did everything wrong, and I was really insecure, and my self-esteem dropped down to the ground over them. It would been easier for them if they had some reason why my gain didn't wait. Although I ate from their feeding schedule that a dietist had made for me. A doctor also came in front of me. He almost screamed, "Admit that you vomit." I was in panic. I was only 13 years old. I've always had digestive problems and been advised to drink enough of water. But in the department, they told me that I should stop drinking water. I didn't get to drink any water anymore without permission because they thought that I filled up my weight with water. After that, I didn't dare to ask of any water, so I got dangerously dehydrated. I was so nervous about everything, so sometimes I could pee in my own bed, and that was terribly embarrassing because I was in a room where there was a boy in my age and the younger children in the beds beside me. I got to do my stuff in a pot next to my bed because I didn't get to move that much. It was tabling further fun. People walked past there all the time. And daily my physician came to me and talked about how many potatoes I ate, criticized my appearance, my look in front of my parents and the other patients. Look at that girl. She looks like a skeleton. I was just crying. I just wanted to die and disappear. The nurses were really mean. And one nurse came to me and said, "Put your window closed so you don't fly away with the wind because you're so skinny." And I was really hot. I always have a good blood circulation except my hands and feet. But I'm always hot, sweating. So they didn't believe me that I could be warm, sweating, because certainly the anorexical people or people that are skinny always freeze. The only Swedish-speaking nurse came to me and draw a stair and show me where I'm now. And she told me it's not that many stairs to death, and soon you will be up with the dead people in the heaven. The dietist didn't give up permission to my parents to buy me any Nutri-drinks from the pharmacy when we suspected that the weight would not gain with this food plan she had brought to me. And yeah, we were right, because my mom counted the calorie amount I had received from the hospital, from the dietist. It showed that it only was 1,200 calories a day. And of course, I didn't gain weight with that amount. After that, she wanted to discuss with the nutritional therapist. The answer was that she was the only dietist they had, and there was more important patients in the hospital than me. And it was really busy, and they said they didn't have time to to watch me all the time, and then they told me that the children's intensive had a place free for me so they could watch me more, so I moved there. There I laid all day, all night in one bed, and I couldn't move my toes because I was stuck in a machine that started to beep if I moved like a centimeter. Behind the curtains were sometimes dying people who needed immediate help. Adult intensive care was also full. It was really quiet, so I heard easy what they discussed. I heard that they said this was the last stare that the nurse had drawn for me, and now the only thing that it left is death. I was never in Gavet because I ate through the food plan every day. This is written in the epicrasis as well. That they didn't listen to either me or my parents. They never took us seriously. And the only thing the doctors did was like telling me how horrible I looked or what I did wrong. Then she one day said, the only thing we can do now is to put you to the psychiatric ward. And he said it was the only treatment that I needed. Because the snake needed help. The pathologists tell me that it's useless to think that we will get support from healthcare in Sweden only if we can prove that they have failed in their treatment. I felt every day how they tortured me and waited just for me to break down pieces. In the last page of the epicrasis, it says that the girl breaks down anytime. She just cries and says nothing. One evening, when I ate supper, a doctor came me. The same doctor who had taken care of me in the beginning, the doctor who wanted to send me straight to the psychiatric hospital, and that calm face in front of me and demanded that I should admit that I vomit. She gleefully and told me while I ate supper that they are sending me anyway to the psychiatric ward. She told me this didn't work properly. I called and told my parents what she said. This was the last piece for us. They had not talked about this for my parents, so the last confidence disappeared immediately. So me and my mom escaped to Sweden. On Sunday night, my dad waited in the hospital hallway and called me and said that I should leave everything in the hospital. So I did it, and I walked silent and slowly out to the door. Our car is waiting outside. My mom was in the neighbor car we borrowed, and I jumped in the car, switched clothes, and then we directly drove to the evening boat at Stockholm. Name and date of the birth that was required at the check-in we also borrowed from the neighbor who was the same age as me. My dad rang the same time to the hospital. We took Amanda to Sweden for private care, and that she is in safe hands, so the hospital don't need to worry. In the morning, when we drove out of the ship, the whole harbor was full with police officers and dogs. Mom thought that, oh my god, now they're taking us. But we did it through, and probably they were looking for someone other than us. The situation was really panicked. Mom could not believe that this was really happening. And here we go, maybe with the cops after us, escaping from Finland. But we weren't really wrong. In Finland, the same morning, 5 police officers and the ambulance standing outside our house in Finland and had to come to pick me up. Dad was in the shop, so my sister, that lived also home, was all alone home, and they were going to take her with them. They didn't believe her when she told she wasn't Amanda. The neighborhood needed to come and prove that that's the wrong girl. Adventure hadn't started in Sweden. My mom had an old friend in Stockholm, which received us luckily, kindly, and immediately, so we could stay there over until we get treatment for me. After that, we went to the tax authorities to change the address, and then we had to stay with her for 5 weeks before we found our own apartment. Then it was just to begin and Google eating disorder clinics, and we found several, but we chose Mando Clinic, and that was really that fit me pretty good because my nickname when I was young was Mando, and so without calling in advance or something, we went there and asked to talk to them, and luckily we got it arranged immediately.